All right, let's talk about Donald Trump, a man who is a chicken hawk, a man who did not even go to war himself when it was his turn. This is a man that's a draft dodger, and he wants to send young Americans, women and men across seas and put them in jeopardy. We've been down this road before with the Iraq War, remember? Weapons of mass destruction, which they found none. And so Donald Trump, way back in 2011, was critical of Obama, saying, oh, Obama is going to get us in a war with Iran. And that's the dumbest thing because he's not intelligent. Well, here we are in 2026. And shall I say, Donald Trump is the one that's not intelligent? Check it out.
Our president will start a war with Iran because he has absolutely no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. So the only way he figures that he's going to get reelected, and as sure as you're sitting there, is to start a war with Iran.
CBS News has learned national security officials have presented the president with military options for strikes against Iran. And the president has ordered a buildup of U.S. forces in the region, including the world's largest aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford. It comes as Iran is carrying out joint military exercises with Russian forces in the region.
We're either going to get a deal or it's going to be unfortunate for them.
Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna and Republican Congressman Thomas Massie plan to force a vote as soon as next week on a war powers resolution requiring congressional approval before any military action against Iran.
This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. And so there it is. During 2011, Donald Trump, who I believe was not even president at the time, was very critical of Obama because that's how he got his movement started, through the birther movement, through the Tea Party movement, and the hate and the racism and vitriol against one Obama. So there's Donald Trump talking about how Obama doesn't have the intelligence to negotiate. Well, here we got Donald Trump here in the, what year are we in? 2026. And he doesn't show the intelligent fortitude to negotiate properly. He got into office back in, I believe, in 2016 when he was in office the first time. He destroyed the deal that Obama had brokered with Iran before. Now he comes in, breaks another deal, and causes this war that, in my opinion, puts us in jeopardy for World War III. And I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. I don't think, and I don't want to see Americans perishing away in a war over issues that relates to Israel when this man told us, Donald Trump, that he was American first, that he was America first, and that America would come first, but yet we don't see that. This is the man who comes up with the peace board where he takes 10 billion of our taxpayers' dollars and divert it over to this peace board. This is the man who's mad because he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. This is a man that gave his buddy over there, another Trump wannabe, over in Argentina, the president of Argentina, what, millions of dollars or billions of dollars when he was in jeopardy in his own country. And all you see is billionaires within his administration getting rich. And it seems like a lot of people in his administration in this White House, they all seem to be in those files, those e-files. You know, those e-files called the Epstein files. Everybody that Trump is in his orbit somehow has a connection to those files. And now he's got us involved in this nonsense. Now, let me show you this right here. This is breaking news because Saudi Arabia, they ain't happy, y'all, about what's going on. And Trump is a fool. He's not a leader. Never should have been voted. And the thing about it that's crazy, y'all mega coach folks out there, y'all said that y'all wanted America to be focused on, and you're not getting that out of Trump. You can't even farmers and Americans who are concerned about their health care, their benefits, and Americans that are struggling out here to make ends meet. Donald Trump doesn't drop any money into the economy that helps the common man and woman. He doesn't care about you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a man just within the last month, has brought unemployment. He's got 6,000 people I think it's between what is it, 6 million maybe people, between that number, that 6,000, about 6,000 people have lost their jobs because of this man's policies. Let me show you this real quick before we get into the meat and butter of this video. Right here, this is breaking news all over the media now. Saudi Arabia, the United States Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Qatar are discussing. They're in discussions basically right now, y'all. Let me get it right. They're in discussions to withdraw from contracts with the United States of America. You hear me? This came out in the Financial Times. They want to cancel future investments and commitments in the United States. This is what's happening. United States, ladies and gentlemen, it is no guarantee that we're going to win this war. This is a war that we should not be involved in. This is a war that's a distraction. And Donald Trump talking about having the ability to negotiate. Isn't it interesting that the minute that more information comes out about those Epstein documents, then all of a sudden, every time something comes out, Donald Trump does something to distract the world through what he does that gets to mainstream media. And mainstream media, by the way, they've been a failure. They have propped this man up. They never confront him on his lies. This is a man that's struggling with health. He's got weird scar tissue on his neck now. He's a weirdo. And this is a man who had the nerve to tell the president of Ukraine, was it Zelensky? He had the nerve to tell the president of Ukraine that, hey, you're going to start World War III. This is very dangerous. Here is a video of Donald Trump damn near talking to himself. Check this out.
Right now, not in a very good position. You're
It's gonna be a
gambling
very
with the
hard thing
lives
to
of
do.
millions of
Business
people.
like this.
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. For the American people to see what's going on. You're right now not in a very good position.
Isn't that interesting how he was trying to give the president of Ukraine advice on him gambling on World War III? Well, roll the dice this time around. Looks like Donald Trump is the one who's gambling with World War III. He's the one that's going to get us in a big, big mess. And I'm telling you, right, I'm here to tell you, don't assume that the United States is going to be able to win this war because, and I'm going to show you some clips based on this information, because Iran has been preparing for this very moment for over 20 years. And what they're going to do is that they're going to hurt America by hitting us in the economic pocket, by hitting. Why do you think there was 9 strikes? Why do you believe there were 9 areas that Iran hit within that region? Because they hit the areas that impact America the most. While we're setting up here hitting things like schools where schoolgirls are at. Let me put this up here real quick. I was going to wait before I put this up, but let's put this up right quick. While we're setting up here under Trump's leadership, which is abysmal, the bodies of 140 people killed in the strikes, girls' school, have been identified so far, with 25 more awaiting identifications. At least 110 students were killed, or deleted, should I say, deleted. This is YouTube, and have been identified, including 66 boys and 54 girls. All 26 female teachers at the school were taken out. 4 parents of students are also among the people that have died. This is what we're talking about. This is what you want to do. And see, this is what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you have other countries that end up hating us. The young people in Iran didn't understand what their families meant when they said America is not good to us. Now, the younger generation is seeing exactly what the older generation of people in Iran were talking about. We're creating more enemies, not friends. And Donald Trump is at the helm of something disastrous. Let me go ahead and show you. This is a man who said Obama wasn't smart, right? But here he is making the announcement right here. You all seen this.
Seeks to kill The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. That often happens in war. But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We pray for every service member as they selflessly risk.
Now, check this out. Here, I'm going to say it again. This is a man fundamentally that when it was time for him to step up and to serve his country during the time when we had drafts, you were drafted. You didn't volunteer for the military. You didn't join the military out of some economic necessary means. People were drafted during wars. Donald Trump tried to skip out of his what saying he has bone spurs. Donald Trump is not going to send his kids over there to fight. It'll be your kids fighting. Listen to me, everybody, including you mega cult members. You see, historically, rich men, old men, rich, wealthy men start wars and have young, youthful men and ladies fight the war for them. Usually young people who come from poor families or families that are not rich, while the sons and daughters of rich men, they go to college, they have a cushy life, and they're not fighting in anybody's military campaign. Donald Trump is an example of the disaster. Hey, he has a nerve to say what he just said when he was a draft dodger. Let's hear what people have to say about this sucker right now. Hear this.
This man did a press conference after bombing Iran to distract from the Epstein files and from all the other corruption. And Lord Farquaaded the shit out of us. He said, some Americans may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Here you have a young lady there saying that, look at Trump sit up there and say that some Americans will perish, but it's a sacrifice that he's willing to make. A man who never fought for this country, a man that had the audacity to claim that he should get the Medal of Honor, yet he did not fight when it was his turn to do so. What a chicken hawk Donald Trump is. And all of you out there that support this White House and support this chicken hawk of a man who calls himself a president, you got to be out of your mind. Now, let me play something for you. This is why America may not win this war. And we may be seeing bad days coming out of this situation because I think this guy's a professor, and he actually predicted Donald Trump getting in office, but he also predicted that Donald Trump would create an airstrike and would cause a war against Iran. I want y'all to truly hear this out. Check it out.
You made three big predictions. One, that Trump would win. Two, that he would start a war with Iran. And three, that the U.S. would lose that war. It's quite a stunning prediction. Do you stand by it?
The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. And now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire.
Listen, everybody, I told you that this war will not be easy. And this professor here is I think he's a teacher, a professor. He is going to break down how we are vulnerable. Even though America has all the technology, we could never win a ground war, a guerrilla warfare. And this will be a war of how long. Iran is already saying we'll be able to outlast America because America is dependent on all their economic. See, America as a country, we're dependent on the resources that come from the outside. But let's let him speak.
So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are
global
striking
economy.
The GCC countries. They're going after the critical energy infrastructure. They blocked off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. The Iranians are actually threatening the very existence of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. And why this is important is that the Gulf states are really the linchpin of the American economy. So what they do is they sell petrodollars and then they recycle the petrodollars back into the American economy through the investments in the stock market. And right now, we know that the entire American economy is propped up by AI investments in data centers. And a lot of that comes from
This is all
the
facts.
Gulf states. So if the Gulf states are no longer able to sell oil and they're no longer able to finance AI, this AI bubble in the United States, then this AI bubble will burst, and with it will burst as well the entire American economy, which is really a financial Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he just said? That if this whole thing bursts, he says the American economy is nothing but a Ponzi scheme. And this man must be a professor of economics. And that if Iran attacks the countries at the center of our the global economic system, such as the AI that we're using, all this stuff, that will bring us crashing down. That means it doesn't matter how many weapons America has, how many flyer pilots, how many ships, how many technological stuff we have. If they destroy economics, everything comes crumbling down. The whole house of cards comes down. This is amazing. Let's hear some more.
I mean, to your point, sir, an Amazon data center was literally hit in the UAE. Now, we also wanted to talk to you about munition. The United States is racing to accomplish Iran mission before munitions run out.
The United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to being after World War II and was designed to fight the Cold War. And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, who was to first get the person on the moon. And so the entire American military strategy revolves around very sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build. And that's what the American air defense system is. And that's why we're seeing this asymmetry in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles trying to take out these $50,000 drones. And it's not sustainable in the long term. And so what we're seeing is really...
You hear what he's saying? That just like I said, despite America having all these war toys cost money. They're expensive to function, to operate. And while we're building these war toys that cost lots of money, and it's a drain on the economy, if Iran fights this sort of technological type of warfare where they go after the centers of our economic strength, we're in trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. America as a country has not won a real war since World War I, World War II, because we lost the Vietnam War. And even during World War I and World War II, you had the help of other countries involved too. Let's get back to it. This is really crazy.
The puncturing of the aura of invincibility that sustained American hegemony for the past 20 years.
Whoa, everybody. Did you hear what he just said? These are things to think about as Donald Trump puts America in the jeopardy, in the crossfires of a war that nobody asked for, nobody wanted. Tax-paying dollars will be going to this war. And if they put boots on the ground, you're going to have American soldiers coming back home in body bags with the American flags draped over. We saw that in the Iraq war. We don't need this. And Donald Trump has the audacity to call himself the peace president, claiming that he has stopped wars around the world, yet all he's done is alienate our allies, alienate Canada, alienate the UK, talking smack about the UK, talk everyone that's our ally, that's part of NATO. This man has insulted. But yet he praises our enemies, people that have been our enemies, Russia, maybe even China, countries that have been our enemies. He has nothing to say about them. let me play more of this nonsense. This brother that I'm about to play for you, I think this is Big Mike from the town. He is a military veteran. Hear what he has to say for why he believes we're not going to win this war over there. Check this out.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I got to get ready to go to school. I just want to just leave this with you guys. Iran's going to win this war. I'm not going to tell you who I talked to, but the reason why Pete Hegseth and the other dude this morning got on and told people is because that's protocol.
Mm-hmm.
See, Donald Trump thought this shit would be over. No.
Right.
The amount of damage that Iran has done, Donald Trump told Pete Hegseth, you need to handle this. You need to go up there and tell these people and convince them that we have things under control, which they don't. This is why he lied, saying Iran started it.
Right.
Iran has never once infringed and or attacked America. So
now, this is a
had
fact.
to do that, but it's not going to last long.
This is a fact, everybody. There is no record of Iran attacking America directly, even though they have said that to us. And a lot of this stuff has come from the prime minister of Israel. You know, I don't even want to say his name. I think they've got us in this mess because United States is like the big brother for Israel, you know, always protecting the little brother, but taking the brunt of it all. Okay. Let's continue.
So far, Iran has hit 9 different countries.
There we go.
With military installations. Listen, 9 different countries that have military installations. Do you know how much that costs?
Woo.
They're not hitting just one target. They're hitting multiple targets. That's when you know, oh shit. Oh shit. Remember, Iran has the money. They're not broke. Hezbollah is bombing northern Israel.
Now, what did the professor say that I played earlier? He said that America is not ready for a 21st century war and that our whole military strength is based on all these expensive warfare machines. And the brother right there that you just heard speaking is a military veteran, and he has it on good word that we're not going to make it through because of the economics. This will be a war. This will be an economic war as to who can bring who down and crush economically. And right now under Trump, economically, we're not doing great under Trump. And not to mention that Trump has alienated us from our allies who would come in and help us. Do you think that Canada or the UK or any of these other countries that Trump has shitted on is going to come to the rescue for the United States when stuff gets real bad in this campaign? Let's go.
So what happens, MAGA and Trump supporters?
Mm-hmm.
What happens?
Mm-hmm.
The economy is already in the shitter.
Yep. Like I said,
we can't afford to beg for money from anyone. So what happens when big bank takes little bank? What happens when all Iran has to do, listen, MAGA, Trump supporters, and my fellow Americans, all Iran has to do is the exact same thing I was telling you 6 to 8 months ago. Remember when I was on here saying the reason why America is funding Ukraine is because we can last longer than Russia. If we have Russia lock into Ukraine and deplete all its resources, they take themselves out the game.
Out the game, that's
right.
Well,
it's on us now because all Iran has to do is stay to the course till it becomes too costly for us. And then we have to pack up and bounce. And guess whose fault it is? MAGA, Trump supporters, Donald Trump, and the government who failed to do what the fuck they did to JFK. End the fucking story.
Facts.
Sometimes I don't let the left hand know what the right hand doing, but I'm giving it to you straight. America fucked up. Iran has hit 9 different countries. When one country hits 9 different countries, you realize you've exceeded your limitations of fucking with them. Take care and be safe.
Did you hear what he said? Shout out to him. That's Big Mike from the town. You can find him on Instagram. He drops little tidbits like that every damn day, and he is a military veteran. I had explained some of that to you. The professor spoke about this, okay? From an economic point of view, this is not a winnable war for the United States, given the fact that Trump has got us in a bad situation. And he said it. Who's going to be willing to come to our rescue when someone like Trump, you dumb mega cult members, you have isolated yourself from the rest of the world in terms of shitting on allies, this fool right here you see on the screen, along with the mega cult. And the sad thing about it is those of us who didn't vote for this crap, we got to suffer through it because the ones that voted for this crap, you guys were too damn dumb to use critical thinking. Now, let me play this for you. This is one of the reporters, I believe, from, what is it, CBS, ABC, one of the two, who spoke with Trump after they took out the leader of Iran about what the next part, what is the mission here? What is the exit plan? When you go into a war, you should have an exit strategy. You should know exactly, this is what we're going to do. This is our target. This is our target. Dates are what we project will be how we'll end this and get out of this situation. And Trump doesn't have a plan. And he's got idiots all around him that's puppeteering him. And let's go.
I just spoke to President Trump for several minutes about Iran. I asked him about who is going to take over now that the Ayatollah, the supreme leader, is gone. And his answer was interesting. He said the attack was so successful, it knocked out most of the candidates. He told me it's not going to be anybody that we were thinking of because they are all dead. I talked to him about the fact that the Iranians had tried to kill him. There was a plot in 2024, an Iranian plot to try to kill Trump. And he said of the Ayatollah, I got him before he got me. They tried twice. Well, I got him first.
Interesting.
As for how long the war will go on, the president told me he always thought it was going to be a 4 or 5 week deal. That's what he told me, a 4 or 5 week operation. He said it could be shorter. And
Trump is a dumbass. This war will not, as long as the United States continues to stay in it, it's not going to just be a 4 to 5 week. The Iranians are built for the long term, everybody. You've heard some of the folks that I have put up on the screen here tell you that they're built for the long term. And when they start destroying infrastructure that impacts our economic means in this country, no. Trump has got us in a disaster. Potentially, Trump is being led. The United States needs to grow a couple of balls. Why are we allowing ourselves to be led by Israel into a situation in which Americans are the ones, particularly Americans who come from poor backgrounds, who are in the military, they're going to lose their lives if this shit gets to a level of ground warfare. Let's continue.
He was prepared to go longer. And about the 3 Americans who were killed, the president said it's war and you have casualties in war. He marveled at the fact that with all the operations he has conducted as president in Venezuela, the one last summer in Iran, and this one, that the total casualty count, American casualties, is 3. That's a quick summary of a rather lengthy conversation with President Trump tonight.
Well, let me also say something, too, that's despicable about Trump. This is a man that when he's in press conference being talked to about the war in Iran and the fact that there could be American people that will lose their life or boots on the ground, while he's talking about it, he minimizes it while he continues to talk about the stupid ballroom. The man sits up here and talks about drapes. I mean, you got Americans who will have their life on the line, and this fool is talking about a ballroom in drapes. This is foolishness. This is what you mega cult people have brought upon us when you voted for this idiot. And all of you out there that voted for this idiot, you're the blame in this nonsense. Let me play something for this is a representative from Iran who says this gets back to the theme of this video. Iran is built for the long term, and America, United States, needs to be very, it's probably too late because we got an idiot in Trump in office. But let you hear what he had to say. Check this out.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade, the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Wow.
So you're saying that Iran is ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war.
See?
So you can see, the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons. And we are prepared for any other eventuality, even, a ground invasion. So our soldiers are prepared for any scenario. When I said that we are waiting for them, it didn't mean that we are waiting for continuation of the war. No, but we have prepared ourselves to confront with any scenario, with any eventuality, any possibility, and we know that we can handle that.
Are your allies Russia and China helping you?
Well, they are supporting us politically and otherwise.
All right. So you hear that. This is some powerful stuff that you're hearing. Iran's foreign minister said this, y'all. Now, let me play something from Al Jazeera. They had a professor on. I believe this professor said he called it just like it is. This is going to be interesting. Check this out.
Where do you see this going? Is there an off-ramp for Iran?
I think what will happen is that even if the United States is able to kill illegally Iranian leaders, the next generation of Iranians, the Iranians that did not see American atrocities in Iran before 1979, some Iranians that did not understand why their parents and grandparents were anti-American, those Iranians will take over. Now they understand why American government is an imperialist, vicious government, and a government that attacks other countries and kills little children. They understand they're fighting.
Didn't I say I put up earlier in this broadcast the situation where children lost their life? 110 students had their life taken away and have been identified. 66 boys, 54 girls, all 26 female teachers at the school had their life taken away because of this nonsense that's going on. And you're going to hear this man say this is being done by the Epstein class. Trump and his administration, this is the Epstein class, y'all. This is what this is really. This is the Epstein cabal class. Let's get back to it.
I think the Epstein class that either rape little girls or bomb little girls.
Let's stop it here. This is deep what he says. As I just said before, he's calling Donald Trump and his administration. This is the Epstein class that has taken out little girls, that also hurts little girls anyway. We've been hearing about this through those Epstein files. Isn't this interesting? Let's play this again.
That either rape little girls or bomb little girls. This is the government that we are witnessing.
Let me move this back again. I want y'all to hear this clearly.
Vicious government, and a government that attacks other countries and kills little children. They understand they're fighting the Epstein class that either rape little girls or bomb little girls. This is the government that we are witnessing. They're going to fight back against that government, and they're going to ensure that the Islamic Republic of Iran will live many years after America destroys itself.
Did you hear what he said? That after America, look, this is some deep stuff that the professor just said right there. Let me play something that I found on social media. This guy kind of broke it down. He made a lot of sense to me. And let me let you hear this. Boom.
Okay, as Trump initiates yet another war on foreign soil with Iran, we have to understand the historical context if we're ever going to make any sense of all of this. In 1953, the US and the UK partnered together to overthrow the democratically elected Prime Minister of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, who, guess what, nationalized the oil industry, kicking out the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, which we all know today as BP, in order to use the proceeds of their oil for their people. Imagine that. The UK was so furious, they've been stealing Iranian oil for decades. They recruited the US to join the coup, overthrowing Mossadegh and installing the Shah of Iran, who brutally repressed the country and ruled with an iron fist for the next 25 years, banning all opposition parties and newspapers and torturing dissidents, which then led to the Iranian Revolution in 1979. So before we jump in and paint Iran as the bad guy and the US as the good guy, remember there's a whole lot more to this story. And as we slash foreign aid and under the Trump administration and ramp up these military operations, it is more clear than ever that the American empire and Jesus are not compatible.
This is very interesting because you have these Christian nationalists that are pretty much latent throughout Trump's administration, and they're always trying to claim how they are so much believers of Christ and believers of God, yet everything that they're doing in Trump's administration that's coming out of this White House, none of it is godly, and he makes a really good point right there.
And they never will be.
All right. Now, let me let you hear this clip right here.
They're calling it a victory. The supreme leader is dead and Iranians are celebrating, they say. But at least 3 U.S. service members have been killed. Hundreds of Iranians are dead. 150 killed at a girls' school in Iran. Dozens of the U.S. consulate in Pakistan. The Strait of Hormuz is on lockdown, and thousands of Iranians are once again in the streets chanting, "Death to America." As George W. Bush learned in Iraq, the consequences of war don't end with a mission accomplished sign. The death toll will rise, destruction will continue, and vengeance may come years later. All for a war of choice. Like the attack on Venezuela, the war in Iran is a manufactured crisis, brought to you this time by America's scandal-plagued president and Israel's scandal-plagued prime minister.
Facts.
They pulled out of President Obama's nuclear deal, bombed Iran's nuclear facilities, claimed that they were totally obliterated, reopened negotiations, and then assassinated Iran's leaders while talks were still happening.
This is facts. Criticized Obama, said Obama didn't have the intelligence. Obama had a deal on the table that was signed. Trump tears it up when he gets into office his first year. Then he turns around and tells us during the summer of 2024, as I said earlier, that he had neutralized their nuclear program only to go into war today. Which is it? See, and we know that Trump has a history of lying and the truth's not in him. Let's continue.
To destroy the same program they said was already gone. The U.S. loves to bully weaker countries.
Right.
And that's the problem. We know how to start wars, but not how to end them. Every bomb dropped in a foreign hospital, school, or apartment building that we soon forget about stays etched in the memories of the survivors. That's how we got here in the first place. Our government helped overthrow Iran's democratically elected leader in 1953. Propped up the Shah to be their dictator for 25 years and set the stage for the 1979 Islamic Revolution that still haunts us today. I don't support Iran's government. They imposed religious rule, restricted freedom of the press, stifled dissent, took away women's rights, and killed LGBT.
Now, I'm not going to sit up here and disagree with what he's saying. We're not sitting up here saying that Iran is some beautiful government that they have. They do have a very oppressive government, which is why a lot of the young in their country don't like the regime that has now been, they've all been deleted. But I'm looking at the perspective as an American, how Donald Trump has lied to everyone when he said he was going to be America first. And the one thing that Americans don't want to be is in a war. And when you go to war, everything goes up. Gasoline's going to go up. The price of everything's going to go up as Iran is going to be destroying economic infrastructures. Potentially. With those 9 strikes that they've already engaged in. Let me let you hear from one of the senators right here. Check this out.
Senator, I'll admit, I've interviewed you many times over many years, and, you seem a bit, I guess, shaken might be the word. I mean, how do you feel right now when you see what's happening, when you see and hear what you were just briefed on, some of which I know is confidential and classified?
I just think that we didn't have to be here. I spent yesterday down in Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, where 40% of the people I were talking to had sons and daughters and friends that were deployed on the Ford and these other ships where their loved ones are in harm's way and potentially future casualties, because there was acknowledgement today that there will be more casualties.
What did I say earlier? Donald Trump is a chicken hawk. He's a weakling. This is a guy who's a draft dodger. We have a president in office who's got 34 counts for his sexual misdeeds. A man who bankrupts a casino, A man who, when it was time for him to serve his country, he said, "Oh, I got bone spurs in my feet." And now he's the commander in chief today of the United States. And now he's in a position to send men to war to do that which he didn't do himself when he had his opportunity. Now, let me put something up real quick. I want to examine something really quick. I want to show y'all something really quick here. This is a clip from X. United States troops reported that the commanders are framing the Iran war as God's plan, because you got these Christian nationalists all laden in his administration in that White House they're sycophants. And it says right here, I'm just going to read this first little part right here. As first reported by an independent journalist, Jonathan Lacey, a United States combat unit commander, told non-commissioned officers that the war on Iran is part of God's divine plan, allegedly claiming that President Donald Trump was anointed by Jesus. This is some craziness shit right here. This crazy. You hear what they're saying here? This is the ideology that they're pushing. Pete Hegseth, all these idiots within his administration are pushing this mind control, this culted personality that we got inside the White House. This is dangerous. Now, let me play this last clip before we get on out of here. Check this out.
Reaction to the strikes.
It was the right thing to do, in my opinion.
Why is that?
Because if it wasn't for Trump, then the Iranian regime would have attacked us first.
I think it's disgusting.
They've never attacked us, but you could tell he's a cult. He's a member of the cult. Already, let's just go with it.
Another Trump ploy to hurt people and distract from the Epstein files.
Yes.
Absolutist sort of attitude in a situation that's so nuanced and delicate doesn't seem sustainable, and it doesn't feel like a positive step toward any type of resolution.
Do you worry about retaliation? Because we've seen the bases that were hit as well.
I'm concerned about the World Trade Center and those. The new one with the tall pillar. I'm really concerned. I've been there a few times. I went to the top floor and I'm nervous as hell.
This is an unprovoked U.S. attack. They were determined to do it. They were determined to provide all the weapons to Israel to also carry out the attack. And it is criminal beyond all belief. Iran was engaged in negotiations. The whole world knew that.
Yes, that's true.
This attack. Your sign says solid.
That is true. That is true. What the lady said there is very true, everybody. I really appreciate all of you that are here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you like the content. Let me know in the comment section what you feel about what's going on, good or bad. Do you agree with this war against Iran? Do you disagree? Do you feel it's going to hurt us economically? Do you feel, or do you disagree or agree with me that either that the United States will not be able to win this war outright, that this will be a war in nutrition? Do you believe that that's true? Do you believe them attacking certain economic centers around the world that we have a connection to will actually affect us financially here? And we already have Donald Trump pushing these tariffs and also alienating our allies. I want y'all to think about that, please. I want to thank you again for watching this video. Like and comment, share this video on all your social media, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so that you get a notification every time I upload a video. This is Political Reacts. I appreciate all of you here. Thank you. I'm trying to do the best I can to create these the videos. It's a lot of things I got to catch up on that I'm going to be reporting on. I'm going to be reporting on the Kristi Noem, her situation, being fired, the man that's going to replace her that Trump has fired. The man replacing her is no damn better. And I'm going to be doing a video talking about what happened to the, very soon, what happened to the Marine who was mistreated and thrown out of a committee, a Senate committee meeting, when he stood up and said Americans should not have to die for fighting for another country like Israel. This is his opinion. This is what his thoughts were. And you saw how they did damage to his arm there. I think he got his arm broke. We're going to get back with that very soon. Everybody, thank you. Tell somebody you love them. This is Political Reacts. Take care.